This video is looking at the 2015 ordinary level question B3. It is an orthographic and auxiliary projection question, and it's based on kind of a deli counter. So this question, you're asked to first draw the elevation of the structure in the direction of the arrow given, a plan projected from the elevation, and then finally an auxiliary elevation of the entire structure in the bold and italic structure, projected from the plan, which will include the true shape of surface A. Now, anytime I'm starting an orthographic projection question, I think it's good practice or a good idea to draw a box around the entirety of my views. So the plan, we've got 130 millimeters across the front, and then it goes back 90. So it has a depth of 90. So I think it's a good idea to make a box that is 130 by 90, and then I will know that everything is going to fit into it. The same thing for the elevation. The elevation is going to have the same width, so it's again 130, and coming up just 15 millimeters between the elevation and the plan. That measurement is entirely up to you. And then the height of the object is 80 millimeters plus that other 30. So I'm actually going to put in two measurements here. I'm going to put in 80 for the height of the main block, and then there's another 30. So that brings it up to 110 for the counter bit. So now I have the box that is going to contain the plan, and the boxes that will contain the elevation part of it. So I'm going to start with the plan first. We need the plan more than we need the elevation. We can draw everything in the plan without drawing the elevation first. So the first bit is, it's kind of an L shaped. I'm going to ignore the little block up on top of it. So it's going to come down this way, slopes at a bit of an angle, then comes across the front, goes back part way, across, back up, and across here. So there's going to be an empty space here up in this corner. The first measurement that we're going to use is the 40 millimeters that they come down from the back left corner. You can see that down the lower left side of the drawing. So back here, 40 millimeters. Now they tell us that it's a 30-degree angle coming here somewhere. That 30 degrees is measured off of this line here. Okay, so it's not off the horizontal, it's off the vertical. So if it's 30 degrees this way, it's going to be 60 degrees on our set square. So it's going to be this angle here. Okay, because this angle here is 30 degrees, whereas this one, which would be lining up with our t-square, is 60. So that gives us the front part. So we can darken it a bit here, going around the back, up on the top, and so on. Now the measurement that we get coming along the side, so how far this goes back, is determined by this point here. If you look in the question, there's a small light red line that runs across. That's a dimension line. So that's going to tell us where the back of this question is here. So that's running along here. So that's going to be the back of it. So I can darken my line up as far as there. And then it's the same idea coming across here. We're given a dimension for how far along the back this point here goes. That's across 50, as given in the question. So we can darken in that line there as well. So we can darken that in as far as here, and then we'll just darken in two more lines. There and there. The other part now to do with the plan is the little block that sits up here on the top, on the front right of it. And that is, we're given two measurements that we need in plan at the moment. There's other dimensions on it that we don't need at the moment, like the height and the angle. We don't need them at the moment. So we're just going to take, it is 60 millimeters across. So from the right hand side into here, it's 60 millimeters. So lightly drawing a line down along this way, and the distance down this way that it comes is 40. So again, that's a measurement that's given to us in the question. So that gives us this much of this here, and that actually finishes out the plan. So the next part of this question now is going to draw the elevation. So the elevation has to be replaced directly above the plan. we're given heights and we've already kind of marked them out already. It's up this 80, so we're given that much. And what I'm going to do is that bit first. So I'm going to draw the little block afterwards. So we're coming up a height of 80 millimeters up this far, either side, and we got a straight line across that, because all along this section is one continuous surface running along the top, so we can see that much. All we need to do now is put on the bits towards the front of it. So like there's going to be this bit down here where the angle is, the 60-30 degree angle. That's a change in direction. So that's a change in direction. It's going to be a line. So we're going to project this line up into the elevation, and then we can darken in that line up along here. Now the other line we have to deal with is this one. So that's this one here. This is at the back of the object, so we can't see it here, but that's going to have to be represented as a hidden detail. So again, taking the distance this way, so projecting up into the elevation, and then just a hidden detail broken line up in the elevation. So that's kind of the entirety of the block, the counterpart of it. Then there's the little bit that's up on top, so we're going to find that now. So again, we already have the width across the front of that here. So I'm going to project this distance, this width up into the elevation, so it's going to be that wide. I've already established earlier on that it's up 40 millimeters, so that's this height. Now, what we don't have yet is the distance of this line here. How high is that line? So we're given an angle, it's 30 degrees, and we can't see that 30 degree angle here, or we can't see it here. So what we need to do is we need to create an end view of sorts. Now we could go out and draw an entire end view, but to be honest that would be a waste of time because we're not asked to do it. So we can do it a bit quicker. We can just draw the side view of this bit, and we can do it up here or down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, it's 40 millimeters, so I'm going to measure out this way 40 millimeters. So that's going to come out as far as here. So the distance from here to here is out 40 millimeters. So what I'm going to do now is, our angle that we're told is at 30 degrees, so I'm going to draw a line at 30 degrees starting at the same height, and where that comes out and intersects this vertical line that we've drawn, that point there is going to be the height that is up above. So it's essentially just an end view, but we've only just drawn a small bit of it here. So this angle 30 degrees as given in the question. The distance from here to here is 40 millimeters, that's the distance that this is out. So what we've drawn is 30 degrees until it intersects with that point, and that's going to give us the distance or the height where that angle is, so we can then just project that back in, and that gives us the elevation. So the final part of this, so that's part A completed, part B completed, and finally part C is to draw an auxiliary elevation of the structure, so the whole structure, not just surface A, which will include the true shape of surface A. So this surface in here is surface A. So if we want to find a true shape of it, we need to look in perpendicular to it. So the surface that we're dealing with, I've just shaded this in, this is surface A in the elevation. This is it in plan. Okay, so this is the true width of it here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to look in perpendicular to this. This angle was at 60 degrees. So perpendicular to that is going to be 30, so we're going to take lines off up along this way. And then we're going to draw a new XY line, which is going to be parallel to surface A down here in plan. So it's going to look something like this. So this is our X1, Y1 line. So our new ground line that we're going to draw on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each line and just project them off up here. This is called an auxiliary elevation. So it tells us in the question we're asked to draw an auxiliary elevation. As it's an elevation, the heights are the same as they are in the elevation. So this was up a height of surface A was up a height of 80. So we're going to redraw that up a height of 80 as well. So that's the top surface. So that line up here is the top of that surface. The next bit that we're going to take is just the sides. So this line coming up along this way. Again, this is the side all the way up to the top. I might as well darken in surface A now as well. And we'll take this side point here as well. So that's this one, project it up along. That gives us that outside. So what we have here now is the extremities are as wide as this object gets. This is the true shape of surface A. So this is as much as we can see. So this surface here is this one, and this long surface here is this one here. It's just foreshortened a bit. Before I move on and do the top part of this, I'm just going to do the bits that we can't see. So we've got a couple of edges around the back that we can't see. So this is one of them here, for example. It's a hidden detail line up in the elevation. And when we're looking at it from this side, we also still can't see it. So again, we're going to project this up into the auxiliary elevation, and again, it's a hidden detail. Okay, so it's an edge that's there, but we can't see it. There's something in front of it. Same thing is going to happen for this corner here. So this corner, again, looking in this way, this surface is in the way, so I can't see that corner, but it is still there. So I'm going to project that one up. And same for this corner at the back. So this corner, again, can't be seen. The rest of the object's in the way. So projecting this one up. And that gives the lower part, so that's the counter bit of it. Now what we're going to look at is the block that's up on top and finding this one. Again, we've got 4 corners. So we're going to go A, B, C, and D. So that's D. 4 corners here. These same 4 corners, A, B, C, and D. So again, I'm going to project these from the plan up into the elevation. The heights are going to stay the same. So the height of A in the new elevation will be the same as it is in the original elevation. All we've done is turn the way that we're looking at it, as in we walked around it, rather than changing the heights of anything. So the heights are still going to stay the same. So that's up a height of 30 for point A up here. Point B is going to be the same. So that's also up a height of 30. And that's at the same height there as A, so I can draw that one in. That's point B. Locating point C now next, again taking it from the plan, projecting it up into the auxiliary elevation. The height is measured from here, so height C I'm getting as 6 millimeters. So marking point C. C joins to B, C joins to B, so C will join to B over here. Doing the same thing now for point D, projecting that up into the auxiliary view. It's at the same height as C was, so I'm just going to project that across here at the same height. That's the 60-degree angle, that's point D. D joins to A, D joins to A, so let's do that. And back to C. So the final part of this now is just to darken in our lines. So I've got a line here, which would be this back corner. You can see the front edge there coming down from D and from C, and the line from B is going to again be hidden detail. Alright, so that is this question. This is the 2015 ordinary level question B3.